Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final episode of 2025. Okay, now this one's going to be short, sweet, to the point. I know Kyle Winningham got hired in Michigan. That's pretty much the only news that we got today or this week of a rendition of an episode. But this isn't about all that. This isn't about Alabama, Indiana. This is simply the finale of 2025. I'm going to give my reflection on the year, what's about to come in 2026. And yeah, so it's going to be short, it's going to be sweet, but that's how we're going to end it. That's how we're going to end the year. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Please, 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 please. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, subscribe right now on YouTube. Every single Monday, we're dropping an episode. Every single Monday, we're dropping an episode on Apple and Spotify. So if you guys listen to podcasts on Apple, on Spotify, subscribe to that too. I really do appreciate it. And let's end this off with a bang, man. 2025, my reflection on the year was progression. That's pretty much it, man. When I look at the year of 2025, when it comes to free game, I am very, very proud of what I've done in the fourth quarter of the year. Okay. Very consistent. I dropped 6, 7 episodes in a row. That's something that really I haven't done over the past few years of doing this podcast, simply because, listen, man, real life happens. 4 or 5 million podcasts are out, this year, I think. 50,000 are active. And, 90% of all podcasts last till episode 4. And then the other 9% is episode 10. And we're at 38. So, this podcast thing really shows who's about it and who isn't. Who really loves the craft, who doesn't. Who's in it for fame, money, notoriety, and who's in it just for the love of the game. And guys, I don't want to be cocky because I have no room to be, but I really do love this shit. I love podcasting. I don't do it for money because I still have a day job, UPS. I don't do it for fame because I don't care about that. I don't make super duper polarizing topics that make me popular or unpopular just to get views. If I did that, I'd talk about politics, and we don't do that here. Every single topic that I talk about, I'm very interested in, and I choose to talk about it. And it's been fun. It's been a fun year, man. The Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl was insane to talk about, simply because of how crazy that rap beef was the year prior to that. What else? Notre Dame versus Alabama. That was fun. Talking about, predicting the next Super Bowl. Some of the coaching hires and fires that happened. That was crazy. And I think the most crazy reflection I could think of is like the layoff I had because my second son was born, right? And a lot of podcasters can get into this timeline thing to where, man, I have to drop or I'm going to be screwed. I'm going to lose my community. I'm going to lose the followers. I'm going to lose the likes, and it's not going to work out. So they beat themselves up on consistency. They beat themselves up on they don't care what they talk about. They just have to get stuff out there. And then they put all this pressure on themselves when it's just about podcasting. I don't put pressure on myself when it comes to this stuff. I understand where it can go, right? And I'm not saying that I don't have goals for this show. I obviously do have goals for it. But the thing about me is I'm able to take that layoff and be with my son and not pod because I don't have a timeline. I don't put a date to where I have to hit 100 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers before this time. I have to get a podcast deal before this time. It's not about that for me. I genuinely love the process. I genuinely love seeing the progression of what I do on Free Game. I love to see other people come on Free Game. The Dakota, Carlos, Jello was probably the most fun I've ever had on this pod. The most fun I've ever had on this pod. And if I had a wish, I wish all three of those guys were right here and we all did the podcast together again. And maybe one day it will happen, but real life does happen for people. And real life happens for me. I just I put time and effort towards this because this is my baby right here. March 2nd, 2021 is when I started this thing with my first co-host, my brother, Darnell. And ever since then, man, I fell in love with this thing. Fell in love. And I wouldn't be here without, the three guys that I named. I wouldn't be here without my brother, Darnell. My interviews, Mike Amius, Nick Meck, Keenan Serrano. All three of those guys are doing wonderful things in life. More popular than me, by the way, Mike, played overseas. Nick fought in the PFL and, was in the semifinals. Keenan Eats is blowing up on TikTok right now. And, I wouldn't be there without those guys. Even Booby, coming for a couple episodes to be the co-host with. These guys made Free Game with me. Free Game is mine. Yes, Free Game is DiJon Roberts' creation. I will take it how far I can take it. But I would be lying if I said that those guys that I mentioned did not have a big part in this. And I've had so much fun meeting new people off the pod. I've had so much fun arguing with people outside of the pod in the comments and DMs. And, the main goal for me was to always build a community and to build a space where debate is welcome. I don't turn the comments off. I don't put restrictions on comments. Anything goes here. And it always has been. And the good thing about me is I love to respond to stuff like that. I love to respond to comments. I love to walk out on, going into work and all my coworkers are like, hey man, I disagree with what you say. Or, hey man, what you said was a good point. That's what it's all about. It's about building a community to where whatever you say, I will listen and I will respond. Other people will respond. Because especially when you're talking about sports, man, I mean, this is the new media. I know that's kind of like a trigger word for some people, but it's really a fact. I don't work for ESPN. I don't work for Fox. I don't work for CBS Sports. I don't work for anybody. I'm an independent creator, welcoming debate, welcoming conversation when it comes to sports and music and other cultural events that happen. And I love that. I love having debates with Notre Dame fans. It's out of all love. Now, I may come out here and be very boisterous and cocky when it comes to that stuff, but it's all in fun. And if you respond and you comment, that makes my day. I've done my job. If one person listens to this and gets anything out of any podcast that I do, I've done my job. That's how I look at it. I don't look at the views. I don't look at the subscriber count. Even though I ask you to subscribe, please do, but the community and the listenership and the interaction is more important to me than anything when it comes to Free Game. It always has been, and it always will be. And when it comes down to 2025 going into 2026, you're going to see just a progression of things, right? You're going to see me continue to be consistent like I have been every Monday, guys. 11 o'clock a.m. is when the YouTube video drops. 4 a.m. is when the Apple and Spotify audio version drops. And I take pride in the audio version because that's the one I listen to the most because I work. You know, I'm outside every day. I'm on a truck. I'm always got my AirPods in. I listen to myself every single episode. I watch myself every single episode because it's about the craft for me. So I really take pride in the audio version, much as I do the YouTube version. I know the YouTube version is very important, and I take pride in that as well. That's why I edit every single night. I do everything by myself. But I really want the audio version to get more listeners, and that'll be my main little goal for 2026 when it comes to podcasts. More interviews, more co-hosts. I would love to do that. I would love to interview more people. It's just been a whirlwind. I do this very late on Sunday. So if anybody would like to do an interview, just prepare to do it at 10 o'clock at night. That's just how this podcast is going to go. That's how I stay consistent. And that's really the only time I do it. But 2026, also expect more things content-wise. I would like to do reactions to things. It could be music. It could be another YouTube video that I find interesting that I would like to react to. I would like to do more of that. And just expect more progression, man. That's really it. And I'm going to do what I've been doing. Dropping episodes. That's what it's all about. Just going back to that stat, man, it's so true. I've had people that I know, friends that I know, that have started podcasts, even before when I started mine, and during mine. The content, subject matter was insanely good. It had so much potential. All the cameras were really nice. Equipment was good. Production was good. Multicam switches, commercials even. And it would only last 10 to 12 episodes. And then I would never hear from that podcast again. People hit me up and say, "Hey, D, I'm looking to start a podcast. What can I do?" I don't just tell them, man, just go get a mic and use your phone and record. No, I'd give them everything I do, everything I know, all the software, all the editing tips, all the thumbnail tips, everything I know, because I love podcasting so much. I want other people to do it as well. I want them to love it as much as I do, because it is very important to have passionate people about this thing, because there's a lot of people out there, even with known names, right? People that are famous, people that are athletes, people that could have a head start if they drop one episode right now. We get 100,000 views, 100,000 subscribers if they just drop one episode. But they do it because they see the financial gain in it. But when you got people like me and other small creators, other local creators, local podcasters, we're at the bottom of the bottom, and we have to build this thing up. Guys, March 2nd, 2021, next year, it'll be the 5th year anniversary of Free Game. And this is my 38th episode, right? I'm proud of that. Not for the fact that you started 5 years ago, you should be in the hundreds, the 200s even. No, not even that. It's just that I am where I am, and I'm still doing it because the love never went away, even when I went away, right? I never quit Free Game. I always said I will be back. It's just real life hits people. And you see it in the industry now. There's a bunch of podcasts that are calling it quits, shutting it down, because A, real life happens, and B, they take it to a such serious level to where they put immense pressure on themselves, and they put timelines on themselves. And my advice for podcasters going into 2026, don't even think about putting a timeline on anything you do. Just record and post. That's it. That's it. Whether you got to do it with no mics, whether you got to do it with your phone, whether you got to do it with some cheap equipment, whether you got to do it in your closet, just post and continue to post. Just do it. If you want to do this thing, the statistics show it will weed out the weak. You gotta love this stuff because it will show you who you really are when it comes to this podcast thing. And I'm saying that as a small creator. I don't even have 100 subscribers yet. But what it showed me is I love it so much I don't care. I'm not in competition with anyone. I don't envy or have ambition to be anyone else. I simply do it because I love what I do. I love having a top 5 point guard list. I love debating who's better, Notre Dame or Alabama. I love debating everything boxing and where the sport is going. I love NBA. I love college football. I love college basketball. I love doing interviews with other people. And I'm not getting a dime from it. And I probably won't for a while. I don't care. You know, I simply do it because I love this thing, and 2026 is going to be the same energy, just a better version of me as a podcaster. You know, I go through all my old episodes, even with the old version of the pod, man. I have become so much better as a communicator, as a podcaster. My production has gotten better. You know, my editing has gotten better. I'm learning a lot, and 2026, I just want to continue to progress. I'm learning on the fly, and I think that's the best way to learn, especially when you're starting out. So yeah, just expect 2026 to be a great year. More consistent, more episodes, a lot more content, and yeah, 2025 was a very monumental year for this podcast because I'm doing all this solo now, you know, and it's tough to do it solo. I would be amazing with a co-host every single time, but circumstances are I gotta do it on the dolo, right? Now, obviously, you know, interviews are different, but when it comes to the traditional weekly pod, this is who you're gonna get. And I'm going to continue to be better. I'm going to continue to be more sharp. I think that's the main key going into 2026. You know, the past 2 to 3 pods I'm listening, I'm becoming more sharp when it comes to how I communicate my takes and everything like that. And yeah, it's a skill, man. You just got to put in the hours. You got to put in the work. And you got to really love to do this shit. You got to love to do it if you want to do it. So that is it, man. That's the episode. 2025 is behind us now. I will remember this fourth quarter of the year forever because I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun doing this. I had a lot of fun communicating with you guys. I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for watching. All the subscribers out there, I thank you guys. And if you like the pod enough, spread the word. You know, tell me, you know, things that you would like to hear more about. I'm always open. You guys see me in the comments. I don't shy away from nothing. This is an open platform for open conversation, open debate, open communication. It always has been. It always will be. So thank you guys so much. 2025 was great. Thank you guys for listening. 2026 is going to be an amazing year for the pod. So if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Every single Monday, I'm dropping episodes. I'll drop short clips. I'll do some more content that isn't involved with the podcast in 2026. Still got to learn that, by the way. But we live and we learn every single day. I hope you guys have a happy new year. I hope you guys take your New Year's resolution seriously. I hope you guys attack it, and God willing, you accomplish whatever you need to accomplish. And yeah, let's just go out there and just go create. Let's go have fun. Let's go accomplish our goals. And I'll be doing the same, man. So 2025, thank you so much for a great year. Thank you guys for being with me, listening. And welcome to 2026. That's free game, and I'm out.